Okay, get ready everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into something, well, maybe a bit unexpected.
Uh-huh.
We're looking at where high horology, the really fine watchmaking world, meets the kind of rugged, adventurous side of things, pilot watches.
Right. And specifically a surprising chapter from Patek Philippe.
Exactly. The Patek Philippe, you hear
Okay.
that name, you think elegance, tradition, centuries of it. But they dip their toes into aviation timepieces.
It's fascinating stuff.
So our focus today is the Patek Philippe Calatrava pilot travel time. That's the reference 5524. And specifically, it's returned with this new model, the 5524G010. It's got this really striking ivory lacquered dial.
Hmm.
Now, you see, when this watch first came out back in 2015, it caused, let's say, some turbulence, a real stir in the watch community.
Oh, absolutely.
But fast forward, and now it's actually a really admired piece. So there's a great story here, about design, Patek's heritage, modern needs, and how this watch sort of found its place.
Yeah, and that's really our mission for you today in this deep dive. We want to unpack why it caused such a commotion initially,
Right.
explore its features, which are frankly pretty unique and very thoughtfully done, and really get into how Patek managed to blend their signature elegance with the very practical, sometimes tough requirements of a pilot's tool.
Mm.
We're aiming to dig out those nuggets that make this watch so compelling, even if, you're not typically a watch person or a pilot watch fan.
And it certainly did challenge what people expected back then in 2015. I remember when Patek showed the first Calatrava pilot travel time, the Ref 5524 at Baselworld.
White, gold, blue dial.
Yeah, white gold case, that really vibrant blue dial, those big pushers on the left side. It just didn't look like typical Patek.
No, it didn't. For a brand so rooted in these conservative classical designs, it felt like a pretty major departure.
So what was the deal? Why the shock?
Well, part of it, I think, was just a general lack of awareness, maybe. Patek does have a connection, albeit a brief one, to pilot watches.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they point to some design cues from their 1936 hour angle watches, or siderometers.
Pyrometers, what are those?
They were super specialized tools for navigation, helped pilots figure out their position using the stars, way before GPS. Really fascinating stuff.
Wow.
But
Right.
those historical pieces never really led to a full-blown pilot watch collection for Patek.
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of people watching the brand, this 2015 model just seemed to come out of nowhere, felt uncharacteristic.
Okay, so there's that historical blind spot.
Yeah.
But was it more than just surprise? Was there a feeling among collectors that Patek was sort of, I don't know, watering down its identity? What was the real issue?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think for some, yeah, it felt maybe too casual, too large, just didn't fit the traditional Patek mold.
Right.
But looking back, you could argue it wasn't just like a random move. It feels more like a calculated risk. It let Patek test the waters, show that even a brand with all that tradition could push boundaries, maybe appeal to a slightly different collector, someone more modern, maybe adventurous without losing its core identity.
Mm-hmm. And it worked.
Well, once the initial, shock wore off, the Calatrava pilot travel time actually got really embraced. It became this great example of combining two different worlds, showed Patek's versatility.
Right.
And in fact, its success actually led to a whole collection based around it. We saw a smaller 37.5 millimeter ladies version,
Okay.
the really complex alarm travel time model, a chronograph version too, and they revisited the original design in rose gold, that's the 5524R, with a brown gradient dial. That one's actually still in their catalog.
Right, the 5524R, I remember that one.
Yeah.
And now here we are. Patek has brought back the white gold version, but with this new elegant ivory lacquered dial, reference 5524G010.
Same specs, technically, as the first white gold one.
Identical specifications, yeah.
Yeah,
But that ivory dial, it just completely changes the whole vibe, the whole aesthetic.
it really does. So, okay, the market reacted, things settled down. But what was it about the watch itself? The design, the engineering, what won people over eventually? Let's maybe start with the dial.
Good idea.
Because legibility, luminescence, those were absolutely key for old pilot watches, right? And Patek seems to have nailed that here.
Oh, they certainly have. You've got these really large applied Arabic numerals. They're made from black and white gold, and they're completely filled with luminescent coating. Super luminova, I assume.
Yeah, and that combination, the dark edge of the numerals, that sort of warm yellow lume fouling, it makes them incredibly clear. They just pop off the dial, even in daylight.
They really do.
And the hands, too, right? The main hour-minute hands for your local time. Solid white gold, charcoal gray coated, filled with that same yellow lume.
Right.
But what's really clever, I think, is the second hour hand. The one for home time.
The skeletonized one.
Exactly. Also white gold, also charcoal gray coated, but it's skeletonized. And the trick is, when you're not using the dual time zone feature, when both hands show the same time,
Yeah.
that skeleton hand just disappears. It hides perfectly underneath the main solid hour hand.
Oh, that's smart.
It's such an elegant way to avoid cluttering the dial, you know? Keeps the focus on the primary time.
That disappearing hand trick, is that something Patek pioneered, or is it common in travel time watches?
Yeah.
It seems really clever for keeping things clean.
Well, different brands have different solutions, but Patek's execution here is particularly refined. It really helps maintain that clean look, which isn't always easy with multiple time zones on display.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then you've also got those two little round apertures for day-night indication. One marked local, one home. White for day, blue for night. Super clear.
Got it.
Plus, there's a subtle black railway track for the minutes around the edge, a central seconds hand that also has a luminous tip, and then the date. That's shown in a subdial down at 6 o'clock.
And linked to local time, which is handy.
Exactly. Indexed to local time. So yeah, it's packed with information, but somehow it still feels incredibly clear and easy to read.
Okay, so the dial is a masterclass in legibility, but a pilot watch also needs to be pretty robust, right?
Okay.
While still being, Patek level elegant. How do they manage that with the case and the functions?
That's a key point, isn't it? How do you mix rugged functionality with high-end watchmaking? The case is 42 millimeter polished white gold, but it's actually quite slim for a pilot watch.
How slim?
Just 10.78 millimeters high, so it can still slide under a shirt cuff pretty easily, but it definitely has presence on the wrist.
Right. And then those pushers we mentioned earlier
Yeah.
on the left side.
Yeah, those two quite prominent screw-down pushers, they're for adjusting the local time.
Okay, how do they work?
So the bottom pusher moves the main hour hand, the solid one, forward in 1 hour jumps. The top pusher moves it backwards, simple as that. But here's the crucial bit, especially for a pilot's tool. Safety.
Ah, right. You wouldn't want to bump them accidentally.
Exactly. Imagine knocking your local time off mid-flight. So these pushers have a patented safety lock system. You have to actually quarter turn them to unscrew them before you can press them.
Oh, okay. Like a safety cap.
Sort of, yeah. Unscrew, then press. It's a really well thought out design for practical use. Prevents accidental changes.
Very clever. And the date, is that set with the crown?
No, actually. The date has its own separate recess pusher down near 6.30 on the case band. Again, keeps things clean and purposeful.
Got it. Thoughtful user experience.
And of course, driving all this is the movement inside. It's powered by a Patek's Caliber 26330 SCFUS. That's the engine, basically.
Wait, the heart of the watch.
It's an automatic movement, self-winding, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, which is, 4 hertz. Pretty standard for smooth timekeeping.
And the power reserve.
It gives you between 35 and 45 hours, which is practical. Means you can take it off Friday evening, and it should still be running Monday morning. Good for a watch you might wear regularly.
Yeah, definitely. What else is notable about the movement?
Well, it uses a 21-karat gold rotor for efficient winding, and technically it features Patek's Gyromax balance wheel and a Sparamax balance spring.
Okay, Gyromax and Sparamax, what do those mean for the wearer?
They're Patek innovations for better performance. The Gyromax is a type of free-sprung balance, which helps with precise regulation and stability. The Sparamax spring is made from Silinvar, a silicon-based material. It's anti-magnetic, very resistant to temperature changes, and helps improve accuracy and shock resistance.
Ah, so key things for something potentially used in, aviation or just daily knocks. Better accuracy and toughness.
Exactly. Makes the watch more resilient than a more traditional setup might be.
So it's not just about the looks, it's a real technical powerhouse inside too.
Yeah.
And the finishing, I assume, is top-notch, Patek level.
Absolutely. The level of hand finishing, the precision, it's all guaranteed by the Patek Philippe seal.
Right, the seal. Remind us what that signifies. It's not just like COSC certification.
No, it's Patek's own internal standard, and it's incredibly strict. It covers the movement, the case, the dial, everything. It guarantees not just accuracy. They specify a tolerance of -3 to +2 seconds per day, which is tighter than COSC. But also the quality of the craftsmanship, the finishing on every single component, even the hidden ones. It's a serious stamp of overall quality.
The huge mark of quality and precision then.
Definitely. And then, just to complete the picture, this new 5524G 0100 comes on a strap. It's a sort of casual, khaki-colored composite strap.
Okay.
Got a fabric-like pattern, contrasting black stitching, and it's fitted with a white gold buckle, but it's a specific type, a clevis buckle.
A clevis buckle. What's that? Sounds technical.
It's basically a U-shaped fastener with a pin going across it. You often see similar designs on, like, harnesses or rugged equipment.
So it ties back to the aviation theme.
Exactly. It's a subtle but neat little nod to the harnesses pilots use, maybe for their emergency kits or parachutes. A nice detail connecting the watch back to its inspiration.
That is a cool detail. And the price for this piece?
The retail for the Calatrava Pilot Travel Time 5524G is set at EUR 58,900.
Okay. So we've really journeyed through this Patek Philippe Calatrava Pilot Travel Time.
Yeah.
The 5524G 010. A watch that, as we said, genuinely took the industry by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But carved out its own niche and became this really admired part of a very exclusive collection. It's quite something, blending that super intricate, high-end watchmaking Patek is known for
Right.
with genuinely useful practical features like the dual time zone, those clever safety lock pushers, and even those little thoughtful touches like the clevis buckle.
It really shows that innovation, even from the most traditional houses, can lead to these, well, unexpected successes.
Definitely.
And that kind of leads to a final thought, maybe something for you, our listener, to chew on. What does this re-release tell us? You know, bringing back this specific model, same tech specs, just that elegant new ivory dial.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say about how these big luxury brands juggle tradition and, well, trying new things, how they listen to the market or maybe even shape it?
Interesting point.
What does it signify when a brand like Patek Philippe goes back to a design that was, initially at least, pretty controversial, but ultimately proved successful? Maybe it says something quite profound about finding value, unexpected value.